I'm out on a new permission today and I want to give the XP Deus a spin using a sonar program. So join me in the XP Skills School. The sonar program is designed to stop you in your tracks. And I kind of use it as a get out of jail free card because let's get back to that. Again, can you see how that stopped me in my tracks? Let's do a quick walking test just to show how that sonar program stops you in your tracks. All the iron bubbling around in the background and the ground feedback, not a big problem. It's nice to know what's going on. Now we're just walking up towards that target now. Bang. Don't matter how fast you go, how slow you go, that high pitched tone nails it. Look at that. It's a big old coin. There's not a lot on it, but it's always nice to find coins. Where was I? Oh yeah. The sonar program is a bit of a get out of jail free card because if you're on a quiet site, it's worth giving the sonar a try because it can squeak out some of those really difficult targets. Not another one. Coming up around the 70s. 68, 70. Top of a thimble, I think, or top of a walking cane, something like that. There's two ways to set up this sonar program depending on how much iron you've got about. If you've got a lot of iron, you're probably better off using Deus Fast as a platform, program number 3. If you haven't got a lot of iron, use the deep program number 6 as your platform. What I've done, I've put two sonar programs next to each other, so I've got sonar 1, sonar 2, respectively, using the different platforms. So as you can hear, we've got a lot of low tones coming through. This is in fact the ground coming through. This is telling me how mineralised the ground is, and it's not too bad. The iron tone will be a much more pronounced low grumble, like that. And of course, the positive tone, the non-ferrous tone, will be a high pitched tone. The idea of the sonar program is to give it such a high pitched tone that you can't really walk over it, you can't miss it, it stops you in your tracks. Like that. Absolutely perfect. I'm using the XY screen, so it gives me a nice straight line. So I think that's quite a positive target. There you go, looks like a lead token. Not a bad start, interesting little target, and what a lovely sound that gave. Let's crack on. Another one. Pretty big one. It's coming up at 80, 87, 88 on the XY screen with a dead straight line. Miles out. Pinpoint was rubbish. Oh, bit of pipe. That's not a piece of pipe. That looks like a key. Interesting, that. What do you think, a key? No idea. Interesting little find. Stopped me in my tracks again. It wasn't that deep. You would have found it with any program, but still adding to a pretty good little session. Double bleeper. Yeah, let's have a go. Interesting. What is it? I think it's another one of them lead tokens, look. Oh, this one's got something written on it. Yes, it's definitely a lead token. Almost exactly the same as the one I had earlier. Let's dig that one out. My first target. There you go. There's your 2 lead tokens there, look. So it's nice to see that the field's had a bit of activity, isn't it? Always a good sign finding lead tokens. Never know, might be a hammered coin waiting for us. Not with my luck, it won't be. At the moment, this is so easy. You're probably thinking, oh, I've been looking around for these. That's big iron. Can you hear it's forced? The XY screen, all over the place. Yeah, you're probably thinking, I've been looking for those targets to walk over, but absolutely not true. This is genuine. Now, one top tip I'll give you with the sonar program, because of this high pitched tone and there's a lot going on, don't have the headphone volume too high, or it may end up caramelising your brain, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, much softer this one, isn't it? You can hear it's got that ghosty sound to it rather than a forced sound. So this could be deep or it could be something small. You just gotta love that high tone. So addictive. Right, I've gone deep enough, I think, with a spade. If it is something nice, I don't really want to risk damaging it too much. They come out with that spadeful. What is it? No idea. Oh look, yes, it's a tiny little buckle. I don't want to knock it too much because the pin's still in it, look. There it is, look. Tiny little buckle. $47, $48, $49 on the XY. I'm guessing it's something quite small. Okay. What do you think there? Perhaps a small Roman coin, a little minim perhaps? It's thin. I can't see anything on it. Oh, hang on, possibly a few dots. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But the sonar program squeaks out targets of all sizes. I don't think you're going to miss anything with this program. I really don't. I'm having a good little session with this sonar program. I really am. It's behaving well. And I've only been working this little bank because for filming purposes, it's the only bit that's out of the wind really. If I go on the top there, it's going to be howling. And you can see how far I've come. Look, you'll see my spade and my car in the distance. I've literally worked this patch up and down, and I've had a few interesting targets. So I don't know what the rest of the field's going to be like. It's a massive field with some interesting dips and bumps. But say for filming purposes, I've had to stay in this little valley bit. If you didn't want to hear the ground feedback, just turn your discrimination up a little bit. Here we've got the discrimination at -6.4. All you have to do is whiz it up to -3, something like that. Don't have to be too critical. And then just search, and it cuts a lot of this ground feedback out. Go a little bit higher if you want. And now all you're hearing is the iron. So set up the dais to what you're comfortable with. And the best way to learn this machine is experiment with it. I've just turned the camera back on because I started digging this target, and then I thought, do you know what, I think it's probably deep iron. Then I took another spadeful out and the signal's got better. Although it's a quiet signal, it's no longer got the iron buzz with it, so perhaps I've moved some iron out there into the spoil. I've gone down about 8, 9, perhaps a little bit more inches, and it's still a good signal. But it's interesting to see the XY screen. Let me get the camera and show you the XY screen. Now normally when you get that flat line, it's the ground. So whatever this target is, it's really, really highly conductive. I'm just going to dig a little bit more out, get the probe in there and see if we can locate it. This should be an interesting one. Perhaps a big lump of lead or something. Well, I honestly have no idea what that is. If you've got any idea what it is, drop me a line. But that was an interesting target, that really was. Well, that's my run out with the XP Deus and the sonar program. I'm sure you'll agree. It's quite dynamic, it's quite punchy, and it's quite deep. Even though it uses a reactivity of 4, it still goes down on those bigger targets. Don't use this program if you've got a nervous disposition, because you might find yourself in the dark room with a wet towel on your head. Don't forget to subscribe, like, we'll do the sort of things you do on these YouTubey things. And thanks for watching if indeed you still are, and I'll see you on the next Skill School video.